Hello everyone, and I guess welcome to a very special wet edition of the Hillbilly Files. I am out on Fishtrap Lake. I started to say Fish Pond Lake, different lake. Fishtrap Lake in Phyllis, Kentucky, near Pikeville, and doing a little bit of camping. You know, trying to do a little bit of fishing, but you know how it is, triple-digit heat during the day. But I did want to tell you guys a story while I was here that actually involves this very lake right here. It's a very interesting story, and you guys know how I'm always saying how we like to take you to the places and tell you the stories. Well, we're at the place, so it's a good time for the story if you ask me. Annie Elizabeth Adams Young was born on September 9th in 1870 and spent her life in the mountains of eastern Kentucky. She married a man named James H. Young, a local attorney born in 1858, and together they built a life in Pike County, Kentucky here. Most of the details about their everyday lives have been lost to time, but their names remain part of the region's history through the cemetery that carries Annie's name. The Annie E. Young Cemetery sits just outside Pikeville, Kentucky on Chloe Road, not far from famous Hatfield-McCoy patriarch Randall McCoy. It's a quiet place with rolling hills and manicured lawns and lots of trees, not far from where Annie and James lived. But the cemetery hasn't always been there. Back in the 1950s, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers started working here on Fishtrap Lake, and a big project, meant for flood control in Pike County. To build the lake, entire communities, including homes, churches, and small family cemeteries, had to be moved. One of those was the original Young Family Cemetery. The Young family graves were carefully moved from the land that was going to be flooded. Today, that old ground sits at the bottom of Fishtrap Lake, under still water and many years of time. It once held generations worth of memories. Now it's part of the lake's basin. Locals say the Young family's original burial spot was near the Pompey Fork Road, not far from here, close to a small hollow on the eastern side of what is now the lake. Old maps from the 1940s showed several family graveyards once dotted that area before the valley was dammed and filled with water. It's believed that the Youngs were buried on slightly higher ground, just above the old creek, in a place now long gone underwater. Annie passed away in 1942, and James just before her. Their final resting places, and likely those of some of their family, were moved to the current cemetery. There's a big one right there. Great big one jumped right there. They were moved to the current cemetery that now carries Annie's name. The move was one of many, part of a huge project to protect and preserve the graves before the lake was filled. Other families went through the exact same process as well. One Reddit user shared this about their own ancestors. They actually moved one of my branch's old family cemeteries when they put it under Fishtrap Lake. Supposedly it was an old burial ground before that, but honestly I don't know if I believe it. It makes for a good story though. This does show, however, that it wasn't just the Youngs that had to go through this. The shift affected all local families whose small graveyards rested on the hills and hollows that were swallowed by the new lake. Some people still wonder if any of the graves were left behind. But according to official records, every known grave in the flood zone was relocated before the lake was created. As far as we can tell, there's no solid proof that any were left underwater. In my personal opinion, though, after documenting, we'll just say dozens, of local graveyards, I can almost guarantee you there are more unmarked graves somewhere down there. While some other lakes in the country have sometimes revealed their coffins or headstones when the water levels drop, nothing like that has ever been confirmed here at Fishtrap Lake. Today, the Annie E. Young Cemetery stands not just as a burial ground, but as a large piece of the local history, even though the original gravesite now lies under these waves. The names were not forgotten. The land may have changed, but Annie and James's story lives on and is now part of the hills and hollers that they once simply called home. Such a beautiful day, isn't it? A beautiful lake. But you know what's down there, don't you? There's another big one right over there, Jones. Getting kind of busy. Got a fishing rod. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd tell you a story that's, like I said, we'd like to take you to the places and tell you the story. Well, here we are. It took a kayak to tell you this story. Well, anyway, guys, we will see y'all next time. Y'all have a really good day. And Leo out. Big air bubble on my shirt. Even from here. We're up there. We did it. Wait a minute. Try it from here. I'm on it, sort of. I'm on it, though. That's the important thing here. I am on the board. That's the important part. Oh, well. I probably could have made it. Probably. That is tricky. I'm just going to do it from the bank. I believe that's a little bit easier. You don't work as hard.